Okay, so welcome to the Dutchman's Wood Shack here. Um, you have to excuse me, I'm having a little beverage. Get all the sawdust out. Okay, couple of things. I discussed, videotaped a bunch of stuff for you guys when I posted it. It had to do with filling in cracks and holes. And one of my remedies is, shouldn't say remedies, but what I like to do is I've used different things. I've used Gorilla Glue, Tide Bond, drywall compound, and forget the other stuff I use. It's a like an epoxy mix. So, but here's the thing: you gotta understand when you're doing this. How much is that going to affect your overall looks of the product? Hey, Len, how you doing, buddy? How's it going? See, here's my biggest problem. Okay, so I'll give you a good example. I'm fooling around with resin. Okay, so that that I guess is okay there, but it didn't come out really good there. So it's kind of a I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to sell it or just keep it, but just give them an example of cracks. There's another one right there, right? So in order to hide stuff, and it's not really hiding it when it's this wide, it's almost impossible to cover up. So there's a couple of ways you could do things. So one is you could try using something that isn't going to show up and stain your wood. That's the big thing. Now that's what Tide Bond, it does this. Okay, so Tide Bond, you can make a putty, but it stains the wood. You want something that's clear, so when you sand it off, it won't show. But the big thing is this: you have to get enough in there that'll sink into it. So let's say you want to take and repair this. Yeah, I would tape it off here with painter's tape and right there, and on this end too. And then I would put a little bit with this kind of a tip on there. They have smaller ones too, but you got to. Okay, so what you do is you spray it on. You put it on the crack like this. You have it set until it won't move. Let it set. Let it set for about 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. Look at it and see if it's sinking in. Okay. It's still going to be moist. It's still going to be pliable. So then what I usually do is I take the sawdust and I put the sawdust on it. Now I sprinkle it on like this. All right. And then I let it set. I'll go like this with my fingers. Then I'll use this to press it in. So, okay, so it's kind of like drywall compound. You could use drywall compound too, but here's the thing. Drywall compound stains. If you're going to paint something, if you're going to paint something and not stain it, then you can use the drywall compound in it. But I would mix it with glue. It's a great filler. Hey everybody, gaming Jen. Oh, you use that stuff? Oh, I don't know what. Anyway, hang on. I'll get you something here in a minute. Okay, so stand by. Yeah, Mike compressor. Okay, so I got Tide Bond in this. And one right, and it showed chocolate. Another one broke. My other lid broke. So I've got this in here, and it works okay. But the only problem with these things is I hate the tops. They're a pain in the butt. Anyway, what I wanted to say is you could mix stuff with this Type Bond stuff. But again, it will leave a residue. Now, if you know when you're staining something and you see as a crack, okay, say like this is driftwood. Say you could take the stain, you could and mix something with it and mix the glue with it and put it on too. So now what you're doing is you're sealing all the cracks. What you want to do is get the stuff, put the finish on it. Now, a lot of times I have an issue with one over here. It's a small crack. If I put varnish on it, it's a thicker, instead of wipe on poly, it's a thicker coat of like an acrylic type thing. You could use that. It's like paint, thick. You want something thick that'll fill in that void. I don't know if I'd use sailor on this, because what you're going to do is you're going to seal this with some kind of stain. This one I'm working on right now. It's a little bit. I'm trying to make it like a surfboard. Okay, so I'll show you here what I'm doing. Here's the plans as they stand right now. So I have to move all my junk out of the way. So there it is. This is going to be in here like this. And this is going to be like this, except it's inverted. No, yeah, it's got to go this way. So now I got to glue these four pieces together. And it's going to sit off the top of this. But anyway, I'm going to say my legs are going to be like this at a 5-degree angle. Okay, so that's going to be that. But now I've got to drill the holes for the pilot holes for the dowels I'm putting in there. Now, here's the thing. When I'm making furniture like this, a lot of times I'll use this stuff instead of Type Bond on small stuff like this, or I'll use something that doesn't show, because every seam will show with a Type Bond, unfortunately. I have to order some different stuff that's better. Some of the professional woodworkers use. But when I get done with this, now this is going to float. So the top of this is actually going to be about 3/4 of an inch up. And there will be a pin here and a pin here. It'll be steel pins, and it'll sit. This will sit on top of that. Now I have to, once I get this all set and the holes drilled and everything, this with the legs, what I'll do is I'll probably take, and once this whole thing is finished, I'll put that on top here. And then I'll mark where the pins are going to be, and I'll drill the holes at that point. Now, you got to be careful when you do this. So usually what I do is I take a really fine pencil and go around each one pin. Then I'll come back and I'll measure. And I'll measure what this is, what that's going to be, to make sure that they're exactly right. It won't be very deep. My plan is only go about 1/4 of an inch, just to leave an indentation in this. And then, and that's before even stain it. All right, so or do any finish. Last thing I'm going to do is going to be this top. This I'll do before I do this. And this, what will happen is, after I sand all this up and it's glued up, I'll mix up a set of stain. And I have a spare, believe it or not. I got other spares too, to test what stains I want. So, what did I say this was? Driftwood. Now, I was looking at doing a cherry wood stain on this. And this is red oak. I don't know how it's going to look, but I did a piece of furniture an antique piece of furniture that I mixed up cherry wood stain and ebony, and it turned out really good. A little dark, but that's exactly what I wanted to make it look like an old time table. So that's what I'm working on. This is my latest creation, and it's supposed to be like this. And I think I've showed you guys that. The only difference is between this and what I'm doing is I won't have the bowl in the middle. I just want it flat. Now, there's a part of it is it shows you that you could do it with a piece of wood too. But I won't do that. I want to do that. So the only reason I'm not doing this is because I don't have the capabilities of doing this. If I had the setup on my legs where I could do it outside, turn my head, turn and do this, and I would do it. But nah. Then I had somebody else say, "Well, why don't you put a piece of glass in there?" The wife does fused glass, and I said that's not a bad idea, but I don't. I just want to. I want to make it flat. The next one I'm going to build, and that's a little bit more complicated. Now, hang on a second. I'll show you. The next one is this. Now, I got this when I was in Hawaii. When I go back there again, I'm going to take another picture. A little bit close up. But this one's a little bit more complicated. It's got, the legs are kind of a little bit of an oriental type setup. And this is like 5 feet long, I believe. And it's shaped similar to this, except for there's an inlay that's about an inch or inch and a half off from the edge all the way around it. So that should be an interesting setup. But that's my goal. I don't know whether I'll do it or not. Oh, okay, I just ate my dinner. So anyway, I wanted to show people real quick how to do this. So I'm going to turn it around the other way now, on the front side. I don't know if I have any issues on there yet, but probably do. And when you go to making this, because you're at an angle, you want to be making sure that all your wood is the same size. And the same thing with the legs. Okay, so I'm just going to let this set for now. Usually you could just go over it like this. Same thing on the edge here. Okay, so now see here, there's some issues there. You see that? But I'm just going to leave that because it's a hair. It's like the size of a hair, and it's not all the way through. So anyway, that's now the reason I have this issue in the first place is because my clamps were not clamped right. I can't tell you enough. You got to make sure double and triple your clamps. Now, I have clamps like this, and usually, I had them, the longer ones, the pipe clamps like this. All right, so, and they were up against this. Same thing with that side. So I had 3 of them like this. All right, so 1, 2, 3. One this way, another one where it's up this way, and the other one, the third one, was back down this way, right? So you see something wrong right here? You don't have enough room. You need to clamp it this way. Okay, see what happens is when you're like this, you're only using this much of the surface. It's not getting it all. So I've done it a couple ways where you clean off the glue and you put a piece of wood, scrap wood in here, like this. And then you do it the same thing with all 3 of these. And then what it does is it keeps it from warping like this. I didn't care about ends. I wasn't worried because it was always longer, and I would cut this off on the miter saw and the table saw because originally when I started it was square. So that's kind of what I do. But the bigger ones, the bigger clamps, like the pipe clamps, are good, but unfortunately they don't have a big enough head on them. So what you want is a bigger mouth or head like this. Now you can take these and turn them around. If you ever get to the point where you can reverse them, and I can take these off, although I haven't, and probably won't come out. These are really old. Yeah, ski. You can get them to come out, but it won't come out. Anyway, I'm not going to mess around. But here's the thing again. When you're gluing, you make sure you have more than enough glue on there. If it's easing out or oozing out, that's great. Again, I save as much of this stuff as I can get. Now this is like a powder, which is good. That's what you want. All right. It's easier to work than the granulars. You can make your own pestle. You can buy one in a store that's granite, and you can actually take that pestle and ground up wood even more, and then make a paste out of that. I'll have to do that one day and show you that. So now what I'm doing with this is I've got marks here, here on both sides. They're even. I'm trying to make this and that side, the corners where they're a little bit more rounded. I didn't want to have too much of a square head on these, although I keep looking at this. I'm trying to make it like a surfboard, but I don't know. I mean, I kind of like it. The only difference is underneath where I had, and if you look at this, all right, it has more of a smaller reveal. So I'd have to take and go this top part, which is about a half an inch. I'd have to go back to here somewhere and take that much out of it. And I don't know if I like that. What do you think? I think it looks cool the way it is. I just have to basically sand it, get some of the rough stuff off of it. But I think I'm just going to leave it this way. I like it. Now here's the key though. And I tell this to everybody, since I'd already glued this stuff up. Well, you should turn it this way because it. I keep hitting that thing. It's a good thing those are LEDs. I love my LEDs. I don't, some guys say, don't put them in, they won't last that long. Well, they've been in here. Everything is an LED and it's fine. Okay, so again, whenever you're doing woodworking, you don't want to have residue on anything you're going to stain. So, who we got out there now? Hey, Wade, buddy, what's going on? And we got exports there. Welcome to the show. Hey, welcome to the nut farm, or dust farm in this case. So, you don't want this. This thing is coming apart. It's a good thing I got extra stuff. I got extra right there. So what I'm gonna do, if I can find it. 220. Now, I have a friend of mine that tells me I should be doing this with, it shouldn't go any further than 220. And he's probably right, but I need to get this one off. See a little bit right there. Let me start this one here. Well, that's not too bad. I don't know if you guys can see this. Right here, a little bit. There's a little bit of an indentation there. See that? I don't know if you can. Anyway, what I need to do is go back over that with glue again. But this time, I won't use that. Now, you see right there. So, again, I like to use this stuff. And then go down here like this. Let it set. And then this the same way. Now, I did blow that off, so. And then what I'll do is I like to go like this. Yeah, get to play. Oh boy. Oh boy. I know, I'm crazy. Then I go like that. I'll do the same thing here. Now, if you want to get creative, I like to do this on tops, but you go in there like that. And then you go like this. And you made yourself some putty, see? And I use a metal knife. You see that? Because it's easier to use. It doesn't flex as much. And then you can go like that. You just, that's how you make your putty. Just like that. See? Oh, 1, 2, 3, man. Oh, yeah. Now, whoops. That's how I do this. Now, usually, I let this thing set a couple hours and I'll come back and sand it. And another way of doing stuff is it's still kind of gummy or flexible. You don't want, if you can get away with doing this and not letting it hard overnight, and just before you can, and just go back with your putty knife, that works. You got it? So, if you could understand my gibberish, dust, I guess this dust my language. Watch it dust my language. Oh, then I guess you're a step ahead of me because I don't. Oh. So, oh, the other thing is too, it's very important that you try to, I usually try to use like gloves or something, but like what I was doing just then, make sure that you don't have glue all over your fingers because you'll make imprints in it and then you have more sanding to do. But anyway, okay, so that's my lesson for today. Um, Tomorrow night is Tuesday, right? Um, I was going to talk about tools, but I don't know. Maybe I'll wait until Thursday for that. Anyway, to all my friends out there, thank you for watching. I hope in some way I teach you something. If I don't, I hope I'm intending and will let you go. And remember, if you're not making sawdust, you're not being creative. So get with the program. Feel free to write me and tell me I'm crazy or whatever. God bless you guys. And I'm going to be taking some lathes, some hand planes apart. So that's what I might talk about tomorrow. How to work on a hand plane. God bless. Thanks again. And it's the Dutchmans Woodworking, Wood Shack, Duster Shack saying good evening.